Okay.
And Francois is kind of like in their,
Oh, Francois is dating who? What did you say? Who's dating who?
Francois is dating Connor Story. That's
the fuck you did
the
not.
tea.
No, the fuck you did not. Oh my God. I thought you meant the two
They
of
were
these were
spotted
fucking
at
each other.
JFK Airport, like covering their faces. They've been seen together multiple times, but it's kind of like the books and the show. They're like denying it. It's very meta.
Well, Francois was dating another guy like a second ago. Since COVID, he was dating another, like I think another Quebecois male actor who's very attractive too, like very, very cute. So like sassy.
Come with us. Let's reality test.
Welcome, friends, to Reality Test. What is reality testing, you may ask? Well, it's something we all do when we check our subjective or personal emotions, thoughts, and so forth against objective or fact-based reality. So here in Reality Test, we're going to be testing the castmate realities and the producer antics of our favorite reality TV shows against what we know as licensed psychologists about the reality off of our TVs. We hope you'll join us as we attempt to reality test. That's it. Thanks, y'all. Now check out our campy theme song.
Are you feeling stressed? Your head's all messed? Well, let's forget all the rest. Fuck it, we're blessed. Cause it's time to talk reality test. Come with us. Let's reality test.
Welcome to Reality Test. I'm Dr. Ray.
And I'm Dr. Kay. Feel free to check in and take a seat wherever you like, back in those plush seats in the back of the theater, because we are heading back down to the annual awards.
Da-da-da!
You know what I was realizing? I think last time we did the first half of the awards, I was like, I think we just had an award show. And I think since then we've actually had one, right?
Whoa.
Like the one with Nikki Glazer or whatever.
Yeah. And our heated rivalry boys. I really take weird ownership of them. I probably have to work on that in therapy because they're not my boys. More rumors that Francois and Connor Story are dating. It's like pretty in the chat, but they're pretending like it's not. You got to look into this. We should talk about this next week. I know we're kind of pressed for time, but I think they're dating. So congratulations to you.
I'm down. I love that.
Yes.
I love it so much. I can feel more comfortable watching it back for a second rewatch. Like
I heard that.
Yes. I can enjoy their consent that is real, authentic consent, giving it their all. I would love it. I love it. I love the idea also of like the steamy set being what like turned him a little bit into like fully at least trying it out if he didn't before. Like he's very good at that naive kiddo thing. So I could buy it that like maybe he had that, just lack of experience. And then now this sort of like opened it's like Kyle Richards with the music video with Morgan. I think it like widened her eyes a little bit and made room for difference from how she was raised. Okay.
And Francois is kind of like in their,
Oh, Francois is dating who? What did you say? Who's dating who?
Francois is dating Connor Story. That's
the fuck you did not. No, the fuck you did not. Oh my God. I thought you meant the two of these.
They were spotted at JFK Airport, like covering their faces. They've been seen together multiple times, but it's kind of like the books and the show. They're like denying it. It's very meta.
Well, Francois was dating another guy like a second ago. Since COVID, he was dating another, like I think another Quebecois male actor who's very attractive too, like very, very cute. So like, sassy.
Actually, I'm changing my prediction and I'm going to say something that I said to my Connor. It's not about reality TV. It's about my parasocial relationship with heated rivalry. And I'm changing my prediction to this because I am proud of this. And I think I was right because I'm so just enamored with this story. We should get started because I am on a time crunch, unfortunately.
Let's do it. No, you're all
and
good.
And awards, they'll play you off the stage if you go too long.
Right. We'll have we'll get the cane and also at least the music. Yeah, like you said, to play us off the stage. Also, we did say during the first half, we had enough of an intro for two. So we're going to move it right along to the awards themselves and get cracking. I love that you're going to add that to your prediction you're most proud of. That's so fun. Okay. So annual awards, we've done 3 and we're on to the 4th, which is the other half of most healing representation of mental health. And the other half of it that we're going to do today is most problematic or misleading representation of mental health. Tell me what you got.
I did Craig crying alcoholism to Austin when Austin called him out.
Love it. I love that.
It was, you called this at the time more overtly, and I think I was feeling it, but I wasn't sure if I should say it. But it so was like crying wolf. Not that he doesn't have a problem with alcohol, but I don't think it's to the degree that he was stating, given the corner he was backed into with Austin. So I think that was misleading, and yeah, not the coolest on Craig's part.
I love that. I totally thought about doing that one too. What a gemstone you are. And yeah, exactly. You did agree with me at the time. You're like, oh, that makes sense. And I think it's like he used it as a strategic thing, as a strategic out. And I think he believes, a part of him believes he might have a substance use problem, but not a big part of him. So
no.
Yeah.
It wasn't as integrated as he made it seem when he was talking about it.
Right. He was acting all like vulnerable about it, but he is not that vulnerable about it yet. I think, he's sort of just barely. It's sort of like he's like, yeah, I probably have a problem, but whatever. It's like that's sort of where he's at, I think, with it right now.
Exactly.
Fine, but
yeah.
Yes. But then, yeah, it does make it misleading, which I appreciate that. Great choice. So mine is about trauma regarding Brynn. And so I think the misleading representation of her trauma was done by the producers of Real Housewives of New York City and then by the other women. So then again, by the producers and showing us what the other women said. I think that they should have been much more trauma sensitive in the way that they addressed all of that. The way that they literally said, there was like a title card that was like, the producer sat with her to make sure she was okay. It was like, no, they did not. They were like out on the couch hanging out, and she came out and sort of explained what was going on with her. I think she was re-traumatized by the fact that there was no comfort following her disclosure. Like, I can't imagine telling a group of women that you feel closest to with no cameras, so hoping to get their real authentic reaction and having them like ice her out, basically. Like, she left uncomfortable, like what just happened? Because they all thought she was manipulating them. So like that just was like so apparent, and I felt terrible. And they didn't talk about that at all. On the production didn't talk about that. And then in fact, production joined in lambasting Brynn as a liar during the patio discussion, doing the like review of all the time she's lied, which was wild and inappropriate and wrong about some of it. So I think ultimately she could use some help and support. And instead of seeing that as like, that's a problem, like she's a problem because she can use support, it should be like, let's get her some fucking support. It should be like caring. And it wasn't caring. Right. So it was misrepresented. And also, that's not to say that racism isn't still a problem, because the racism is a problem. And how Uba, that's for sure. Absolutely. And it's really a both and.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Holding both.
Yes. So take care of your employees.
Yes. Sheesh. Do better by your people.
So the next one is the best representation of therapy, by the way. So these were about mental health therapy. So I'm going to take this next one, which is that my best representation of therapy was about the casual nature with which TJ talked about therapy on Southern Hospitality. Like, he talked about having gone to therapy. Someone tried to use it as an insult. They're like, you must have been in treatment. And he was like, yeah, I have been in therapy, Ty. Like, thank you. Or not Ty, just thank you, is what that meant, which is great visibility. He's like, yeah, I have, and not a problem. So I loved that. And then the other one as an honorable mention was that Amanda and Kyle did the same thing, where they talked really pretty casually about their own therapy, their couples therapy potentially. And the idea that like they both were sort of like, yeah, of course, Kyle in particular, just given the stigma about men going to therapy. But I think those were obviously like, therapy was with our favorite Erica Jane. Like, she had the most successful therapy that we were let in on, but I think the best representation is being casual about it and sort of like normalizing it.
Mm-hmm. And I picked Erica Jane because I loved her talking about her therapy, calling her therapist, and we have really seen her grow. Like, that woman has really grown, and in ways that are so impressive. It is beautiful to see someone who's a little shut down emotionally, like, start to open up and like have compassion for people. I have loved watching her journey, and she is now, I think before, I don't know if I would have wanted to be her friend. Now I'm like, I want to be her friend. Like, she seems really cool, like, just to hang with, which is nice. It's nice to see.
Yeah. And she was like that back at the very beginning. But then during everything that went down with her husband and everything, she just went to the total dark side. I mean, just probably out of a feeling like entitled because of her suffering. She felt like everyone should be treating her differently. But I do. And then the substance use too, of course. But yeah, no, I think at the very beginning and now I definitely want to be her friend. She's my favorite. I really, really love her. And I do think, by the way, not only did she a success story of therapy, the way she talks about it, she's so integrated about it. Like, she's like, here's the thing I've learned about myself from this. It's just so natural. It's a great example. I totally totally agree. She's the ultimate on TV success story of therapy that I think ever, like any channel, anything. I
And
love it.
her emotional intelligence, I think she had
Yeah.
emotional intelligence before,
Yeah.
but she didn't
Yeah.
always use her powers for good.
Right.
And I think that is the biggest, like asking, how do I have empathy? That was wild. I was like,
Revealing.
damn, girl, you've got to, or
Revealing.
how do I have empathy for other people? But she took it in and she changed and now uses her powers to the point where she's like hanging out with Sutton, and trying to like help build that bridge. And I just love to see it. I'm so happy for her.
And she even said something, I don't know if you remember this, but she even said something about having a personality disorder. Like she talked about the idea that she might have a personality disorder. I could see I bet the therapist told her she has BPD, but I think it's more like, because I don't really agree with BPD as a diagnosis, given the trauma, I have a lot to say about that, but I won't. But I think it's more likely she might have a little bit of narcissism, but not in the like sociopathic way. Because by the way, most reality TV stars have some narcissism. So in other words, she had the rawness of telling us that. Like what revealing, raw stuff. I loved it. She's phenomenal. Great example. What about the worst therapy representation? What would you think?
Let's see. My most problematic was Jax at his day treatment center, stalking Brittany, literally from his day treatment program, talking to some people about how he was healing, and then behind the scenes, like being so manipulative to her. It was gross and pretty illuminating about his character, but it was not a good representation of therapy. And honestly, it made therapy look bad. And like I truly believe that you get out of therapy what you put into it. Not just like, and there are some centers, places you can go that are more evidence-based than others, and maybe he wasn't at the most evidence-based treatment center. And I don't feel like he was working the program the way he could have.
Right. And I don't think he was letting them help reach him either. Like, I think, like you're saying, he wasn't putting into it what he should have been putting into it. So even if they were like an evidence-based program, exactly, like it wouldn't have worked because he wasn't letting them in. And I would also say, like, they caught him lying about it. But the other thing too is that, remember when he said that he even used therapy before he went to the center to lie to Brittany about going to therapy, lied about it. And then he also told us, this is sad in a different direction, where he said the reason he doesn't trust therapy is because his previous therapist was caught like in public bragging about being his therapist, which is so sad. It does happen. Terrible that it happens. It does make us all look bad, which, by the way, the vast majority would never, ethically, legally, fucking never. So it's awful that happened. And so I get why he doesn't trust it, but I'm glad he at least came around to going to the center. It just is a shame he couldn't get anything out of it yet. So hopefully he'll try again next time and get something out of it. I did Bryn so first of all, that was perfect. That's the best answer, is what you just said. But sort of like another one in the mix is Bryn referring to group therapy for sexual violence. I was troubled by that. First of all, it's actually kind of unusual to do group therapy for sexual violence. It's triggering to each other. Like they actually discourage that. There is group therapy for like relational trauma or like other types, which still is like, they do it very carefully. Like it's a very carefully done group, but sexual violence groups are really unusual. So I was surprised she said she went to one. It obviously didn't do a lot for her if she did, nor would it be thought to. Like I wouldn't think it would anyway. But that's, I mean, I guess, right, like the gift is like knowing you're not alone. Of course, that's a huge deal, and that's great. And like maybe learning you don't have the worst of it. But it's like contraindicated. It made me sad thinking about her doing that. And I just want her to go to individual therapy and not think of herself as like having done it. Like I've done the work or I've done the treatment, when it's like, that's not even good for you. So like, I don't know. It kind of showed. It showed in the way that she's so unintegrated in her trauma. So I would love to see her see an individual therapist. And I thought that was a bummer representation. Like, I don't want people with sexual violence thinking, let me go find a group therapy. I don't want it. Yeah. Unless it's like for anxiety, but don't do it for,
Or like a support group around processes like that. But like kind of an interpersonal, this is your main jam sort of group seems like a recipe for disaster.
Yeah.
Honestly.
And it's literally one of the few things they say aren't good for groups. Like it's one of the very few. There's not many, but it's one of the things where they're like, not that one though, because it's just too triggering to hear each other's trauma. And you can end up in like a trauma dump spiral, like that just is not, not good for anybody. So I just was like kind of bummed thinking about that. Exactly. Like if it was about other things or like a process or like a processes they have to go through support for that, that's one thing, but And they would make ground rules where they would say, we're not going to go deep into her trauma. That's what they would do. They were doing that so that it didn't do what we're just talking about. Bummer, but also the help she needs. So this next one's kind of fun. This one we have in our regular awards, but I can't not, which is the prediction we're most proud of. I think it's my turn, so I'm going to go. I have a few because I can't fucking help myself, and I'm proud of myself. This is good. It's good to get some public. Next one was Grant as Bachelor, which was the best Bachelor season, but partly because I felt it was really predictable. I guess like week 2, Juliana was going to win, and she did, but I didn't think she was the best for it, but I did think that was what was going to happen. So I was proud of that one because that was like an overall win from day one. If I had a fantasy league, you know. And then another one was Southern Hospitality, where I was guessing that TJ probably had a crush on Joe. And I guess that early on as well. And then it just like absolutely came to the fore. And there were counter indications. Like there were things where it was like, oh no, it's just that this or just that. But it was definitely that he has a crush on him. And he was petty and Joe hated it. And it was a lot. But it was definitely like the throw a rock at the girl you have a crush on kind of stuff. Which is funny. You might remember these ones, though. These are the ones that I talked about in the thing. So one of them was Summer House, which is that, and there's only 2 more, I promise, which is that Jesse being a relational virgin. Do you remember I brought that up? I was like, I feel like Jesse has never had another girlfriend. He's never said I love you before. And like literally the next episode, he was like, I've never dated anyone. I was like, what the fuck?
Damn.
Took it out of my conversation. And then the other one, which is the same thing, even though it was something I talked about with my husband, it like came out of my conversation, was about Pavitt and Jessel, where like my husband was sort of saying, I bet he's angry with her, da da da. And I was like, but I bet his anger looks like absolute quiet. Like he just gets quiet and like is removed and withdrawn. And he's like, but he makes a lot of like inappropriate jokes. And I was like, but those are joking. Like he talked about how he called Sai bipolar. And I was like, but that's him thinking he's joking, you know, which is different. When he's mad, he's not. I don't think he's like that. And sure enough, Jessel literally made the same exact phrasing and everything, where she was like, he was quiet. He was angry, so he was quiet. I was like, what the fuck? So I was like, thank you. I guess I predicted this motherfucker was like that when he fights. So anyway, these are not far reaches at all by any means, but there was that stood out to me as like feeling like something grabbed it out of. I was like, my phone was recording me or something. How about you?
I have 2. My first is fabulous. I called that Paige was not going to marry Craig, but I was not alone in that. A lot of people called that one, but
you were early. You were definitely early in that.
It was just clear from watching her and how relationship oriented she used to be and like wanting to get married, and values can change, but it just felt clear that she was not sure about him. So that one I feel good about.
Love it.
Second one, heated rivalry related, because your girl did the deepest of deep dives. And I was looking through like Connor Story's Instagram, and it was like photo 8 on one of his swipes. And it was like photo cred Francois. And it was like this photo of him that was kind of artsy and like angled. And I said to Connor, I'm like, I wonder if they're dating. And then weeks later, I was like, these rumors started. And I'm like, those fuckers are dating. And Francois' daddy, because he's 40, and Connor Story is like, you know, the whatever. Yeah. And I like it. I'm one of those, like, I wish Hudson and Connor were together. I am one of those. But then Connor looked at me, my partner, in all seriousness, and he was like, you have to support Francois. He's bi. Yes. And I was like,
exactly.
You're right, Connor. You're right, Connor.
Exactly.
And I find it
even steamier, frankly. I mean, I love the idea of the two of them being together, which is why I assumed that's what you meant. And I thought you were saying, so good for you, because I had been like, are they bi or not? Like, is the other guy bi or not? So I thought you were saying like, good for you, because then it meant that he was bi at least or whatever. But now I get it. And absolutely good for us, because Francois is fucking amazing. And I love that he would be with Connor. I love that. I love the idea of that. It makes total sense. I love a good bi Con doing his thing. I love it all. I'm stoked. Thank you for this.
I have to say, I'm a bit of a Hudson. I love Hudson. I kind of feel, this is parasocial too, I feel like him and I like would understand each other. Yes. He's a fellow Aquarius. He's also really like silly and weird and like kind of out of pocket sometimes when he gets on one. And I'm like, you and I would get on like a herd of turtles. Like, I just think we would have a great time. So, and that's me being parasocial. I'm sure if I was actually around him, I'd be shy and weird and it wouldn't go well. But in my mind, him and I would really connect. And so I do love my Hudson.
I feel like he would also be shy. He would also be shy and awkward. So I think it would work great.
I think we could just like, if we got like into it, we could just really weird each other out. And I think it would be a really good time. But,
I love it.
you know, a girl
love
can
it.
dream. But anyway, I'm very
Love it.
proud of my late night, semi obsessive prediction about Francois and Connor's story.
I love it so much. And I would never in my life guess because I totally thought, I honestly thought maybe he was even engaged to this guy. So I love that. It's such a pivot and it's so fun. And I love that he's like getting his hot on Francois. Like he's getting out there now. Like now that he's bi and, you know, disclosed his identity publicly, he can figure it out a little bit. And I love that we picked it. I just love it. I love it. I'm excited.
He has landed the world's hottest man right now. Everyone is obsessed with Connor's story. And you gotta be happy for him.
And honestly, I think Francois could take it. Like he could take the flowers from Connor. I think both of them are really hot, but I think like Francois is like rarely there with me. For me, he's like right there with Ilya. Like I feel like the two of them are like you know. So I love that.
Swoon.
Game recognized game. I love it so much. Not for me, between the two of them.
Yes.
Obviously. And a little hockey joke for you as well. Okay, I love it. Fantastic, fantastic predictions. I love it. Thank you for sharing as well. I love that so much. So the next one is most vulnerable mental health related moment.
Most vulnerable. Where did I put this one? Oh, I also put Erica. I put Erica talking about her mental health, talking about calling her therapist, talking about how much she was struggling and how things have shifted for her. I thought she was super vulnerable in talking about her mental health this season. So I will give her all the flowers for that.
And like what a pivot from when she was like, I didn't do anything wrong. I don't know what you're talking about. Like, yeah. That's great. Fantastic. I love it. My most vulnerable mental health related moment. I mean, I was thinking about Bran, but I don't think she was extremely vulnerable in doing that, but I don't think she really realized how vulnerable she was being, if that makes sense. Like it sort of felt like she sort of like backed into it a little bit. But I was also thinking about Craig in the way that he is, his OCD ADHD, it's almost like he was vulnerable and he didn't know it. Like, so a different kind of take on the like most vulnerable moment. It's like, and also of him not knowing it, which is that he wasn't trying to be vulnerable, but he's a vulnerable dude. Like he is vulnerable to the world around him. He's very like thin, covered, you know, it's like he's just like fragile. A little very fragile, and he doesn't realize it. And he thinks he's like this big dude, like really cool, suave guy. He has like what are those called? The stylist. He has a stylist who like styles him to like be this cool, you know, which like, but ultimately his ego is like very, and it means that like Paige was this thick armor for him, and now that she's gone, he's vulnerable now. He's like literally vulnerable, and so I think him bringing up what he did to Austin, just like you brought up earlier, was a lack of vulnerability. That was his like reaction to being vulnerable. It was like you know, he's like, he didn't want to admit that he was like kind of being a dick. And so he was like, it's just that I have, substance stuff, which just spoke further to his fragile sort of ego. So I think, I'm whatever. So the other one was honorable mention was to Amaya on Love Island. And I think Ace making her feel like she had to apologize for her being over emotional was disgusting. And I love the way she was able to be like, you know, emotional gangster. So like, yeah, she was able to sort of embrace it, which is also credit to people around her who did build her up, because there were people like that too, which thank goodness for that. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Fabulous. The next one is sort of like paired with it too, because it's the most important that they get to trauma therapy. It's also, one could think of it as the moment most in need of processing in trauma therapy. And I had a couple like honorable mentions, but honestly, like Bryn, get the fuck to therapy, please. Good God, help us all. But like Chriselle for her unresolved parent trauma, like that's real serious. That's in the room, like very noticeable, and honestly not going to be good for her relationally with other people. And Love is Blind, I feel like Joey really needs some additional therapy for trauma related to losing his sister. So not the OCD. He's processed his OCD, but I think looking at why he has that OCD and getting into that trauma therapy would be really, really helpful. And then there was like a bunch on Golden Bachelor, like Cindy for being cheated on, Cheryl for the gender stuff, and Debbie for the late boyfriend that died. But then like the one that I was thinking of that's sort of like a deep reach or deep cut or some shit is Grant from The Bachelor. Like he is very rigid, and like closed up, affectless, frankly. Like he needs somebody to like get in there with him and do some trauma therapy, because that's really what it's coming from. Clearly he's just so hypoactivated. So, and it's not gonna be good. Like I bet how he is behind closed doors is not good, honestly.
I didn't even watch that season, and I think it's because the way I saw him on the previous season, I was a little like, this person seems like they're like falling a little too fast, and it's a little put on, and I couldn't quite get like a grasp on their vibe. sort of
Like the
thing.
first scene he's in, he like does this thing with his arm, and I was like, he does that all the time. Like it was so clearly like a strategy or whatever, you know. I was like, this is a fake guy here, like a love bomby guy. He's just not. He's not authentic because he's not in his own body because he's deeply traumatized, and then he's isolated. It doesn't help it, and so he has his own. Honestly, but I bet there's delusions up in there, and then I bet he's also like gets angry really easily behind closed doors only because he cares about his image. But and that people are sort of like, who is this person sometimes, which is sad.
Yeah.
Therapy, trauma therapy.
Go to therapy.
Yes. How about you?
Meredith Marks, our girl from Salt Lake City. Not an integrated person. Probably does have something with pills, something. And the fact that she can't own up to even a little bit what happened on that plane. She like relies on legalese and words when she's accused of things. And also like going then to, like I think Bronwyn said on the reunion, like derailing it to make it about something else. Like there's a lot of ways in which she kind of diverts from taking accountability for things, which is a shame. Like I bet if she would have said to Brittany, like, look, I am so sorry. I mixed some pills and some alcohol. I don't normally do that. And I should not have taken it out on you. Like, but then I don't think she could have sat with that or even like taking an inch. Like it's
like Lisa. They love each other because neither of them do that. They don't take an inch.
It's so, I just don't understand how people can be that gaslighty and in denial. I think Lisa is just like more the Trump style of like deny. I think Meredith actually believes her own bullshit a little bit. That's I could be wrong about that, but that's kind of how I feel.
I agree with that.
But it's weird. And I think Meredith could use help on that.
I love it. She's very like fractured into pieces, like the DJ Meredith, mom Meredith, which I think is I think she's a great mom. I think she's an awesome mom. And then wife Meredith, and then, and then housewife Meredith. So I feel like she has a bunch of different, and that they get sort of dispersed so much that she doesn't really know who she is and comes out sideways. I think also like ultimately what happened on my thought about what happened on the plane is like she finally had a chance off camera to process hearing that Seth was on TikTok, and that she might have even tried to look for the video and couldn't find it. So then they were sort of like, that's why they started asking Brittany to look for it. And that I do think she was in and out of sleep from like the pill. By the way, a lot of them were doing Xanax. Like Heather handed out Xanax like candy to people. I think a lot of people do that in those kind of settings, which makes sense. So like I don't like Meredith said, she's like, what about all you? I think she does as much as everyone else does in terms of the pills. But in the plane where she's also high altitude, I think everything kind of came together as a perfect storm. And she doesn't want to admit she was a fucking monster a little bit, because from her perspective, she wasn't, which, but so I agree. If she could just say like, she dances around a little bit, but doesn't just say like, I'm sorry. Like I definitely was out of pocket. She defends herself. Like Lisa. I love it. Great one. Yeah. And then tell me also who you had for most misunderstood castmate.
Kyle, my boy Kyle from Summer House. I'm sorry, Amanda. I love you. And
did you see they're getting a divorce, by the way?
Yeah, they're getting a divorce. Good for them. Yeah. I thought like that one seemed clear too. That was just because on Instagram they were doing like separate things at BravoCon and stuff. So that one did seem clear too.
Yeah.
I think that Kyle, yes, he has his issues. He's a bit of a hothead. What I like about Kyle, we've talked about this. He's very sensitive. I fucking love his drunken 3 a.m. monologues. They are so funny. They are so funny to me. I look forward to him all the time. I do think he has a good heart. I do. And so, maybe he's not misunderstood. Maybe I'm a Kyle apologist. I mean, he does have a lot of fans, but I do think like some of the women in the house are not as big of a fan of him, probably for good reason, but I will stand up for Kyle.
Yeah, no, I love that. I mean, I think that people in the house are more of a fan of his than a lot of people that are not fans of his on the outside. Like, I think everyone at
Yeah.
least has a little bit of a soft spot for him because some of his behavior has been absolutely atrocious, and he does not
Yes.
really get held to task, honestly, almost ever. And I think some of it's to protect Amanda, so it'll be interesting to see now if he gets held to task without Amanda being his wife or girlfriend. But yeah, some things he does, I'm absolutely appalled by, and you are too. So you're able to, like, your point is that it's not like. And it's true. He's so unaware. It's like he's naive, I think, a little bit, which also he does have a good heart. I also think he's well intentioned, and I think he's naive. And I think the drunk rants and meanderings are fantastic. I love those too. But
They're so funny. Never stop those, Kyle. They're so funny.
which right, he probably has gotten that feedback, right? Because he does always make a point of doing it. I wonder if he's gotten that. He knows that that's like his high point for people. And I think also Amanda might know too, because she was also honestly a lot more forgiving of it than I would have been, even though she still brought it up. I was like, why aren't you mad about this? Or like what? So I think she might know too. It's sort of like his shtick.
Yeah, I'm so excited for this season. That's going to be a ball.
I can't wait. Yes. I said like February 4th or something. February, right?
Yeah, it's coming right up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a couple weeks. It's a week. If it's February 4th, it's this week. Yeah, get the actual fuck out. I cannot wait. Oh my God. Fabulous. I put most misunderstood. One is for Garcelle. And I feel like she's most misunderstood because anyone on this planet asked why she walked out. That should not be misunderstood, but it is misunderstood because people didn't know why. And to me, that's appalling. And that even like Bose, who did say the closest thing to understanding Garcelle, still sort of missed the boat on some of it. Like, I think it's just so friggin' evident. So I think she's misunderstood, and that's a real bummer. I wish the people had a little more. But by the way, my TikTok about it, I recently got a comment out of nowhere, but people mostly agree with us about Garcelle. Like she to the fans, I think it's pretty more uniform in terms of like understanding and feeling for her. She's the best. I love Garcelle. Yes. But the other one was Bren, which I don't need to explain because it's the same thing earlier. Like, even just the fact, like, she was actually showing us a good model of having trauma. Like, even the memory being sketchy, like her memory being sketchy. And she even owned it. Like, in the moment, she was like, I thought maybe I did. Or like, I thought I remembered that. Or being clear that she might have misremembered. Even in the first moment when she first accused Uba, she said, I thought she knew. Like, she right away said that. Yeah. So I think she actually was a great example. If it was slowed down and her behavior was looked at alone, she wouldn't have had the reaction she had. So that people had about her. So I do think she's misunderstood, even though she's also not the perfect, of course. No one is.
Nope.
No.
Not at all.
Okay, this next one is, we paired this with one. So we paired this with the castmate who knows the assignment the most, which is kind of fun. What's required of a reality TV castmate? And I put two, which are Gabby from Traders. Fucking understood the assignment. Killed it. Phenomenal castmate on Traders. Phenomenal person in general. Obsessed with her. Love her. She's fantastic. She really nailed the fuck out of that. Honestly, better than anything she's ever done. And then, well, at least on TV. And then the other one that I gave it to, well, I had an honorable mention for Dorit, which was the smoking in the car, which what a fucking joy. Yes. And she fucking, that really did me some good moves for a while. I felt really good about that. And when she was like, here she comes, like that was such awareness.
Yes, that was good.
Oh God. So she really got props for that. But then the like real winner here is Megan Thee Stallion on Love Island.
Yes, you're so. Oh my God, that's yep. Right, that wins the award. That's it. Nailed it.
She understood the assignment to a T.
Yep. She didn't make that. Well, maybe she did make that season. I think that was the best. That was the best like 20 minutes of that season. You just gave me chills. That was so good. Yes.
So
that was a great award. Oh,
Thank you so much. Because even though Dorit was good, and as I was telling Dorit, I was like, wait, is this the best? But I was like, no, Megan Thee Stallion still is that. She has to be the last one I mentioned because she is the one. I'm so glad you felt that way too. So true.
Yes.
Okay, tell me yours. I'm excited. Who is there?
Mine don't shine nearly as brightly. But I do feel Carl has said this about this person, even though they're no longer together. Lindsay Hubbard understands the assignment. You know what understanding the assignment is? Being fucking pregnant and going on a reality TV show with your ex because you know it's going to bring the drama. She understands the assignment.
At a share house where everyone drinks and parties on the weekend. Exactly.
Yeah, it's ludicrous behavior, but she understands the assignment and she's down to get dirty and get in it. And you know what? She has sometimes irked me but season after season, she is just doing her thing, and she is like ready to make that show more interesting. So she's a great reality TV star. Good for you, Lindsay.
I think that shines super fucking brightly. Like that is also the quintessential answer, because not only are you so right about that, literally just a couple days ago, I listened to an episode from Rachel Lindsay where Rachel Lindsay said they were hosting a panel. Yeah, they were hosting a panel at BravoCon that Lindsay was on, Lindsay Hubbard was on, and so was Jesse Solomon and fucking Wes. And that she said that she was like trying to like get some banter going, and that Lindsay was right in it and just like answering really quickly, and that they were having this whole great conversation, and that Solomon and Wes didn't say a fucking word, and that as soon as the panel was over, everyone flocked to the two of them because they're just like, right, because they're hot. Everyone thinks they're hot. So she's like, hot guys barely have to do a fucking thing. But then the women who understand the assignment like work their asses off. And she's like, so I'm so grateful to Lindsay. So you literally picked the person that Rachel Lindsay would also say that about. And I love it. Nailed it.
Thanks, Rach.
Rachel. I love it so much. I love it so much. Oh, fantastic. Oh, I love it so much. That's perfect. Okay, fabulous. And we only have one left, which is the most exciting gaming moment or castmate play style. So it doesn't have to be from a gaming show, but it gives a little nod to like Trader Survivor, whatever. So most exciting gaming moment or castmate play style. What you got?
So this is one that you already mentioned in your Understood the Assignment. I said Gabby. I said Gabby because she was kind of erratic. So it's hard. She's a hard person to predict or pin down, which is perfect. She also had one of the best lines where it was something like, I know I'm smart. Like people underestimate me, but I know I'm smart. And I mean, she is fucking smart. First of all, she's an amazing feminist. And by the way, she's also a fucking nurse. That shit is not easy to become a nurse. So she's smart in all the ways. She's hella emotionally intelligent. She's weird as shit. And she was so fun to watch on that show. And I am so grateful that she was on it because she made it all the better.
So guess what? Mine was Gabby. Yeah. We had the exact same one. Yes. Gabby got twice the flowers. I absolutely had the exact same thing. I said, like, first of all, I brought up the fact that we learned this season that really the best strategy nowadays is being empathetic and cutthroat. Like, you can't just do one or the other. So, like, people that are not gamers, that are just empathetic, that's a part of it, but you also have to be a little cutthroat. So we learned that. And Gabby really embodied that. Like, she was empathetic, but she was cutthroat. And she even said, like, I don't give a fuck. Like, I don't care that this woman might be a traitor. I still want her here. That's her being empathetic. And then on the flip, she was like able to be like, fuck that guy. You're out. Like, so she had both in her. She was a perfect embodiment of it. Like you said, I also wrote down the fact that during the reunion that even though I love him, I hated this moment when Derek was like, actually, Gabby, I thought you did a great job. Like, as if like, first of all, buddy, I don't need you to fucking tell me that. And then second of all, it's like, we know. And she did the thing where she was like, I know. Like, thank you, bye. It was so good. So we not only had the same person, we had some of the same moments. She had an absolute feminist salute at the end of the reunion, which I loved that the producers let be the last moment. So winner all around. Yes, get it, Gabby. And how cool that we ended our annual awards with a literal alignment. I love it. So friends, come find us on patreon.com/realitytest, capital R, capital T, or use @realitytest with the @ symbol on the search bar at patreon.com. You're also going to find us on most social media. So Facebook and also, the other shit like fucking, TikTok and YouTube at realitytestpod. But then on Instagram, we're at realitytestpodcast. And then also we have our individual ones at Dr. Raypods and at Dr. Kpods. We're also on email and Gmail at realitycheckpodding@gmail.com.
And don't forget to rate, review, subscribe, tell all your friends, and just come on by. Give us some money.
$5 measly dollars on YouTube, on our favorite Patreon here, and you'll get all of the videos are available to you if you do that. Otherwise, it's $5 a video if you wanted to see the video episode of one of these episodes. Then, meanwhile, friends, tell your friends too. If you've been here, you're a friend of a friend, tell another friend, tell a few. We love it. We love to see you all here. You're a delight. And we hope you all have a fabulous week this week. And we will see y'all next session. Bye.